Hello, hello. It's Merry Christmas Eve. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it is already Christmas Eve. I can't believe it's the end of almost the end of
Hello,
2024. It's Merry Christmas
it's
Eve.
actually wild that me and my daughter were just talking about this last night, and I was saying, like, I can't believe 2024 is over. And she was like, I feel like the year kind of went slow. And I was like, it's weird when you think about it because I don't remember September, October, even August. August, September, October feel like a huge blur to me. And then it also feels like I can't believe it's already the end of the year. But then when I think about like last year to this year, it does seem like it was such a long time ago, but I also can't believe it's already the end of the year already again. It's just crazy to me. I feel like I'm in what's it called? It begins with an S,
A vortex? Time
no,
warp?
it's like a what is
I don't
it?
know.
What did
A
you
time
say?
warp?
Something like that. There's another word for it, but yeah, I basically feel like that's what I'm living in. And as you get older, you realize like time moves so freaking quickly. I mean, think about it. Even during the weeks, I'm like, oh my God, tomorrow's already Friday again. It's just like so crazy to think about how fast like time is really flying and why we really need to take advantage of literally every single day that we have because we think we have all of this time and we don't. And that's one thing that is not abundant in our life is time. Like we can have the abundance of money, we can have the abundance of happiness, joy, whatever you want, you can have abundance in, but there is no abundance of time. Like that is it. Like when our time is up, our time is up. And that was one thing for me that I never wanted to look back at the end of every year and feel like I'm in the same exact spot. I have not grown. I'm another year, I don't like to say older, but I'm another year wiser, but my physical reality is exactly the same. That is something that has stressed me out for years and years and years. And since I started my business 9 years ago, I now pretty much measure my success by at the end of every year. I just kind of like look back at what did I set out to do this year? What did I accomplish? Am I happy? Am I proud? Could I have done more? Like those types of things. And that's how I measure like my success by that.
Yeah. And I mean, you know that I have a horrible sense of time. You guys literally like something will happen. I'll be telling a story and you'll be like, yeah, that totally happened like a month ago. And you know, Tara or my husband or someone will be like, yeah, babe, that was like a year ago. Like I have just a horrible perception of time. It's just not a gift that I have. And so time is always super, super weird to me. Like, can you believe it was almost a year ago that we were in Miami with like our leaders, like on a yacht? That was almost a year ago. Like, and how
Yeah.
much we've accomplished in this year has almost felt like a freaking, like we've accomplished more than a lot of people accomplish in like multiple years. And so time is just crazy. So I'm excited to be here to have this conversation with you guys. Hi, my name is Jess. We didn't even introduce ourselves. If you're live with us over on YouTube right now, please drop us a comment, like this video, share it out to your friends. And then if you're listening to us on Spotify, make sure to leave us a 5-star review so that more people can find us, and make sure to subscribe and also set your notifications because even through the holidays, Tara and I will be here every Tuesday and every Thursday to bring you guys brand new episodes because we are so excited about our growth here.
Yes, we're so excited. We're excited to bring you guys the best trainings, the best advice, just to have so much fun and like excitement and enlightenment on this channel. So, yes, make sure that you join us every Tuesday and Thursday because we're going to have different topics from trainings to just lifestyle to life to women stuff, like just all different fun things. And we're really excited to grow with you guys.
Yeah. And so today, what we're going to be talking about, as it is Tuesday tips from the top, it is going to be very business focused. And what we're going to be talking about is how there's no such thing as like a slow season. So, you know, a lot of people have this mentality when they're not really integrated into business, their business hasn't really kicked off the floor yet, that there's these like slow seasons. And I hear this all the time from network marketers who come to me for coaching where they're like, yeah, like, you know, my business really took off in the beginning, but it's kind of slowed down now. And that's pretty normal. That's actually not pretty normal. And I hear people talk about that all the time, making excuses for slow seasons. Like right now, a lot of people talk about how the holidays bring slow seasons, but I'm here to tell you guys right now that people are buying all day, every which way. And when you decide to just throw the excuse out that there's a slow season and people aren't buying, they're just going to go buy from someone else.
No, it's so true. Everybody is buying right now. It's like the time where the credit cards are just out and they're just like ready to buy. They're not like really watching money. Even myself, like I would say that like a lot for the past couple months since I was going on like buying sprees, I've been going to buy something and I'll have to ask myself like 5 different times, like, do you need this? What are you going to use this for? Do you already have something similar? Do you really need this? Like, have to ask myself that a million times. But during the holiday season, I'm just buying. Like, I'm not even paying attention to it. I'm like, I'll check my bank account at the end of the month. I'm not even stressing about it right now. But people are buying left and right. Plus, there are so many people that need tax write-offs too for the end of the year. So don't forget about that. And also try not to think for other people. This is something I always tell all of my clients. Do not think for other people. Maybe you might not think that people are buying or you might not be buying, but just because that's you does not mean that that's millions of other people, because I can promise you all sales are up right now. All sales are up right now.
Network marketing, affiliate marketing, car sales, everything, everything is booming. And honestly, the feds came out, if you're in the United States, they released that our economy is actually booming right now and doing so much better than we thought. And so people are buying. And what I think, is so important to talk about in this regard is that we create the reality that we see within our businesses. Like, we don't understand how powerful our thoughts are to like manifestation and relationships, like in every which way. And it's so easy to get stuck in the thoughts that don't serve us of like, yeah, but it's slow right now because everyone's busy with the holidays and winter concerts and things like that, that it's easy to just like create that reality. And then that's what you see. And then all of a sudden you're like in your communities, you're like, well, how come she sold $60,000 in sales? And how come she is doing $1 million in her coaching brand? Because they have created the thoughts in their mind and the reality that it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a slow season. People are buying all day, every day from me, which way, sending people to me. Like, that's the reality that they've created. And so we have to be mindful of the thoughts that we have and the words that we use, because we're the ones creating what we're seeing. A really good example of this is, one of my business partners in my high ticket business, she recently lost all of her social media. She lost all of her accounts. And it was really easy in the beginning to be like, this isn't going to work for me. I'm about to have a really slow month. And she's actually having her biggest month of the quarter this month.
Wow.
With brand new social media accounts. She's made like $20,000 in like 1 week. Like,
Amazing.
and it would have been easy to be like, oh, well, it's not going to work because of this. And I'll just wait until after the new year and I'll just wait until this and pity me. But again, we create our own reality. So you could not be seeing what you want in your business right now and then decide, you know what, that's actually not what I want to create. And you could change the trajectory of your business in one day, in 1 hour. Honestly, Tara's really good at this.
Yeah.
We always talk about, I always remember when you came back into your business and you're like, I'm going to enroll 5 runners and I'm going to get this new account to top rank in like 30 days. And, I think it was like 45 days, but you still did it. You still enrolled all these runners and you just said it all day, every day, and you created it.
Yeah, I really did. And when I get very focused on my manifestations and I'm just constantly thinking about it, feeling the feelings of what it would feel like if I already had it, and just feeling like I already have it and just speaking it into existence and being excited about it, I can call so many things in. And I've learned over the years that when I start to get anxiety or start freaking out about anything in my life, whether it be about money, change, whatever, I allow myself to feel it, because I don't want to leave that pent up energy inside to like force to not feel it. So I'll allow myself to feel it. But once I fully get it all out, like it's completely out of my system, then I can get my thoughts, my thoughts, my energy, everything all around this idea of what I want, which is why I'm so excited for us to come back, after the holidays and get started for 2025, because I'm already planning. I have things I'm excited about. So yeah, like you have to get your everything, all of your senses around exactly what it is that you want, and you have to hold it, and you have to continue to hold it and not keep like looking for it. Like, you can't hold it and believe it and then be looking for it like, oh, well, where is it? It hasn't happened yet. And because then you're holding it and then you're releasing it, and then you're holding it and then you're releasing it. And then you're really not getting into flow of that manifestation, right? Like, we all know manifestation is real. We all know that, right? Like that's not even something that's debatable anymore. There's so many people that have gone from having absolutely nothing to living a dream life. And that's not something that happens by accident or they were the chosen one or anything. They decided they had it because everything in life happens twice. It happens first in your mind and then in reality, right? So when people are like, okay, this is what I want, this is the lifestyle that I want, they start thinking about it, they're getting excited about it, they feel juicy and like all like, yes, like this is so lush, I want this. And then they continue to play in it. And then they start taking aligned action. They don't even know if it's the right action. They just start taking any types of actions towards what they think is going to get them to the end goal. And as they continue to take the aligned action, other things start showing up like, oh, like this door like highlights, like maybe I should open this door. And then things start working out. And I've seen it happen over the past 9 years that when people get serious about what they desire and they don't overthink it, they just take massive action, it turns out to be bigger than what they even thought they wanted.
Amen. But did you guys catch her point here? Like, you have to hold the feelings of how it's going to feel when you attain the thing that you want without wavering. Like that's the magic piece that people do not understand. It's like, and I know that people don't understand it because me and Tara coach hundreds of people, and it's like they'll come to us and say things, well, I really want this to happen and I'm excited and I know it's going to happen, but da 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 da. Anytime you hit the but, da 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 da, you wavered your faith. You don't actually believe it, or there wouldn't be a but at the end of that thing, right? And so we have to, it's like riding a bicycle uphill. Riding a bicycle uphill is damn hard. But you know what's damn hard? It's like the first few like goes of the bicycle, like getting it going, and then you can finally like catch a rhythm and like pump your way up there. But if you do a couple spins, what do you call it? Pedals, right? I haven't rode a bike in forever. If you like do a couple pedals up the hill and then you stop and you start to go a little bit backwards and you have to like push really hard, that's the same thing with like faith and believing in your manifestations. Like if you push really hard but then like you waver and you fall back, you're going to actually go backwards a few steps. And so we can't say, I trust in the universe, I trust in God, I trust in my manifestations, I trust in energies, I trust that I'm going to be successful, I trust. And then literally in like 2 days when it hasn't manifested yet, you're like, but do I trust? That doesn't work. And so
yeah, you either believe or you don't believe. Like there's no in between. It's either yes or no. And if you do, then you know that you have to believe. Like manifestation isn't like, oh, I believe it when I see it, then I know like it works. It's believing when it doesn't look like it's going to happen and you still continue to believe. That is faith. That is manifestation. That is when it's going to happen, when it doesn't even look like it's going to happen. And you leave that room for magic. Like that's what I love. I love to leave that room for like magic to see how it's going to work out. Cause like I know it's going to work out, but it's not looking like it's going to work out. But I'm like, all right, just do your thing. Like I'm going to just release the feeling of control and then watch it unfold. And it's actually super freaking cool to see how it ends up doing it.
Tell them the story of with Poppers and his visa, his passport.
Oh my God.
That's a perfect story of like feeling like it wasn't going to work out and then it worked out.
Oh my God. So you guys know that like over the past several weeks, we've been going through a lot. Like before everything started happening with us, I was already dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. So everything was just happening at once. I'm not good with unexpected change. People are like, coming in and out and leaving. And it's just like, oh my God, I was just dealing with a lot. So this would have been the straw that broke the camel's back, but it just goes to show that you have to constantly trust that even when it doesn't look like it's working out for you, it is. So long story short, me and my kids have already been to Mexico. So we wanted to go to either Dominican Republic or Jamaica for our vacation after Christmas. So we were trying I waited to the last minute. We were trying all these different things. I don't like to travel with the kids where the airport and the hotel is like super far, like where we'll be traveling for like almost an hour. I want it to be like kind of close by. So everything that she was pulling up, which wasn't a lot, it wasn't worth the money in DR or in Jamaica. So I was kind of like, eh. So then she found this one in Mexico. And I was like, all right, fine. Like it was the best hotel. It was the best like bang for your buck. So I was like, whatever, we'll just go there. We'll have a good time. It is Mexico, but whatever. Well, when was it? Like at the end of last week. So I think it was like Thursday of last week. So she's like, all right, you got all set. All the excursions are all set. Then she puts in capital letters. She's like, make sure your passport, none of your passports expire within 6 months. And it was like in all caps. I'm like, what does she mean by that? So I called her and I'm like, what do you mean by that? She was like, oh, yeah, like your passports cannot expire within 6 months or they will not let you back in the country or even out of the country or whatever. So I knew when I was booking the trip that all of our passports were good. Mine expires in 2026. Destiny has 10 more years, and Christian's expires in like 3.5 months. So I was like, oh, we're good. Well, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Christian's expires in 3.5 months. And she's like, what? She's like, you guys aren't going to be able to go. And the thing is if ever you're traveling and you go to like you need to, let's say you have to leave the country and you need to apply for a passport or yours is expired and you when you go to apply you're not going to get it back in time. What happens is you can go to a place like in your state or whatever where it's like an emergency passport. However, you have to go the day before the trip. It's well, I don't know about in your state, but in my state of Connecticut, you have to go the day before the actual trip to get it. So you'll be there for like 4 or 5 hours. That's what I do for my daughter. Well, anyways, I would not be able to go because the day before is Christmas. So they're not open. So I wouldn't be able to go. So now we're freaking out. So I was like, I got to call you back. I literally hung up. I thought I was going to throw up. I'm seeing stars because this is what my life has been like for the past 5 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, the vacation's going to be ruined. We're not going to be able to go. What am I going to do? I'm like freaking out. She calls me back and she's like, oh my God, she was like, my husband just Googled it and Mexico is one of like 3 or 4 countries that you can travel within 3 months of your passport expiring. So just for shits and giggles, I went and Googled DR, where we wanted to go, or Jamaica, it has to be 6 months. So if we would have booked DR or Jamaica, we would be asked out right now. I would have basically have spent all this money on a trip, which is part of their Christmas gift, and we wouldn't be able to go because the day before is Christmas. So again, I was bummed out to not go there, but it was working out in my favor for us to go to Mexico for us to be able to go because Christian's passport cancels in 3.5 months. Like, this is my point. I had to call Jess right away. I'm like, I gotta tell you this really, really quickly that like it's the perfect example of even when you feel like it's a letdown, it's not a letdown. Like, it's always working out for your highest good at all times. And so if you can continue to clock little things like that in your life, when life is going upside down and it feels like life is not happening for you, and you just hold on and you believe this doesn't make sense to me. This feels really uncomfortable. I don't like it, but I'm believing that things are being rearranged, that I might not like the way this feels or the way that this looks. But when everything is done rearranging, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, actually, I do like this idea better. You know what I mean? So hold on to those things. And I've been teaching my kids those types of things because I didn't learn any of this until like 5 years ago, right? I learned it way later on in life. My kids are learning this very, very early on in life. And so now they've clocked little things. So when they're spiraling and I say, everything's like happening for you, and they'll be like, Mom, please. And I'm like, because they try to act like they don't believe it. I'm like, okay, well, let's pull out the roster. Remember when and then they start calming down because they remember like, oh yeah, she's right, because I teach them this every single time. So now as adults, they're going to have this firm belief that like, even though it's a shit show right now, I know it's working out in my highest good.
This or something better is
This
like
or
my
something better.
favorite thing. Or even like, so my oldest is only 8, so he doesn't have like a lot of experience where things aren't like working out for him yet, but he does go through like challenges with sports, and he had a really hard game the other day. And I remember having a conversation with him being like, it's okay to have a challenging game if you don't win, because being challenged made you better. Like, you got better at screens. You got better at, being able to shoot under pressure. Like, even if you didn't win, even if it felt hard, like it was still moving you towards being better and for your better good. Like, there's so many lessons that we can learn through all these everyday thing lives. But again, we're just not taught that. I wasn't taught that. You learned it 5 years ago. I barely started really actually learning it like 3 years ago, because even I started network marketing before that. I wasn't really taught that. People tell you, oh, it's just mindset, say affirmations and believe you're happy. Like, that is not what we're talking about here. This is such a more deeper spiritual experience. But again, you have to And like you have to work on these beliefs. They don't just come naturally. So, going back to, there's no such thing as a slow season. We create that reality. So we have to know, and we have to not waver our faith that everything is always working out for us. And even if it does feel like a slow season, well, what am I learning? Did I learn that I created that reality and I could change that by changing my thoughts? Or, what else was going on that
Was
you
I
could
not
learn
doing
from?
anything for the past 90 days? And was I not planting seeds for the last 90 days so that now it's the busy season and I have no leads because I haven't really been doing anything for the past 90 days? Like, we need to evaluate why it's happening that way. Like, we have to look at that and be like, oh, it's not because there's a big chalkboard in the sky that says Tara Galino sucks and everybody gets what they want except for you. It's you're the victim, you're the problem, like you're the unlucky. No, that's not it. And like we like to believe it or not, like even though we're like downing ourselves, we're putting ourselves on this like pedestal of thinking that like the world is conspiring to be against you and just you. That's like we're giving ourselves way too much credit for that. That is not what's happening here, you know? And so we have to really like think about those things. And it's easy, right? To believe these things when we're feeling good and we're, it's easy to believe that. But when you're in the middle of the storm and you're trying to think, like it's hard to believe in those things at that moment in time. But that's why you have to continue to work on it and have that as a core belief. Just like trying to think of something that's like a core belief for somebody that no matter what's going on in your life, like you're still going to believe that no matter what's going on. That's what it has to be, that no matter what's happening in your life, you still believe that that's a core belief in your mind, that everything works out in your favor, that there's no such thing as slow seasons, that no matter what's going on in life, that you never make less than $50,000 a month. Like when those become core beliefs, they will always show up no matter what. Period. End of story. Like think about this really quickly. This is a little bit off topic, but kind of the same. Think about this. So many people work 9 to 5 jobs, right? And their paychecks have not changed. They are exactly the same. But when inflation happened and all this, the amount of groceries doubled, the gas doubled, all their bills were doubling, they're not making more money. So how did more money show up?
Yeah.
Like, think about that because you know that your core belief is that you're going to go to work and you're going to at least your bills are going to be paid. You might not have money left over to do the things that you want to do, but your core belief is like, I'm going to go to work my job and my bills are going to be paid. So even though inflation doubled your grocery bill and the gas and the electric bill and all of that has doubled, your paycheck is still the same. So how, with all this money going up, are you still paying your bills? Think about that.
Well, it's because average, normal people, whether they believe it or not, we have minimums and maximums. And so
Right.
whether you believe that you have an energy, it's an energy, I'm gonna keep saying it's an energetic thing. So everyone has energetic minimums where it's like, no matter what, I close this many sales per month. No matter what, I make this amount of money. No matter what, like, my bank account doesn't get below this. No matter what, and that could be different for everyone, right? So
Right.
like my energetic minimum is probably going to look a whole lot different than like Sally Joe Bob down the road where like she's cool with overdrafting by $7 every month. We ain't the same, but like she's comfy with that because that's her energetic minimum, but that's not my energetic minimum anymore, right? And we increase our, minimums and maximums as we go. And the reason that we do that is because our core beliefs change with what we take or what we have and what we create and what we think is possible and all these kinds of things. And if you think that, it's not possible to have sales come in this month and that's your minimum, that's what you're going to believe, right? Or if say, even if it changes, like your energetic minimum is $10,000 per month, it could stay that way for a long time. But then like, what's your maximum? Do you ever increase that? Like, these are just conversations that we have to have if you want to evolve over time. And again, your minimum, you could be totally happy with ending the month with $1.50 in the bank. Like that could be your minimum. But the thing with this is that it's like your responsibility to change and increase your energetic minimums. No one else can do that for you. And this is what we're always talking about with our coaching clients is like, we could be here every day in your ear. Like, by the way, we are going to be in your ear every day in Telegram in January, 31 days in January. If you want to work with us, just
Yes.
shoot us a message. But Anyway, we can be in your ear every single day, like telling you how to believe, telling you how to think, telling you strategies to use. But if you're listening to it and you're like, oh, yeah, that sounds cool. And then you believe that for like 30 minutes. And then you go back to the way that you believed before. And you're like, yeah, but like, I don't know if it's actually going to work, or I don't know, it's not showing up as fast as it should. Like, that's what you're going to create, because we can't be in your ear 24/7. So the biggest battle in all of this is rewriting your own mind to believe those things 24/7, or at least as much as you can, and then shifting
Neural
your
pathways.
energy and, shifting your thoughts as they come in with thoughts that don't serve you. It's your job to then change those thoughts. But again, we can't do that for you, because unfortunately we can't be sitting with you all day, every day.
Correct. But it's work. That's why it's the inner work, because I had to do that inner work. And, when I couldn't be like with my mentor or whatever, I was constantly listening to the trainings or the this or the that. So I wouldn't allow my brain, which they call it like the drunk monkey, to like take over the thoughts and start spiraling and thinking about all these things that don't even happen. So you get yourself all riled up for no reason, and then you're attracting more of that, because like your mind and your energy is so much into that it's just creating more and more. That frequency is letting out more and more and more. So we have to constantly be like, no. I tell you guys this all the time, if you've ever heard me talk, that part of my journey, as soon as my brain would start, I'd be like la 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 la, and I would like break that. Like, instead of starting to spiral, I would like literally block my ears and start like saying something to like stop the pattern of my brain like taking over, because I didn't want my energy to start attracting more of that. Like, I wanted it to stop and choose to believe something better. And again, like Jess said, it's not about being like, oh, I'm so happy every day, positive thoughts, positive. It's not. The positive thoughts is a generic statement. When they say positive thoughts, they mean like what's a better feeling thought? Instead of me believing that I'm not going to make money, I'm going to lose my house, I'm going to be homeless, my kids are going to, like, instead of thinking that, a more positive thought is I get to have whatever I want. I'm never going to lose my house. I'm never going to be broke another damn. Like, that's the positive thought. Like the using the word positive is just insert what you want to insert. Instead of thinking that, you're going to think something else. That's what the word, like, that's what they mean by positive thoughts. But yeah, you have to be the one to constantly stop yourself from doing that. And if not, you're not changing the neural pathways, and you're going to continue to keep getting those same results over and over again. I refuse to not live a life that I desire to have. And if I see, right, because I'm a firm believer, if all of these people are doing this, then clearly it's possible. So if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. So it's clearly something that I'm either doing or not doing that needs to change. And so that's my job to figure that out so that I can live like the rest of them. But they're all just modeling the fact that it is possible, because they're all doing it, right? So that's how you guys also need to think as well. If you guys want bigger, if you want more, and if you want your 2025 to look the way that you want it to look, it can. But it starts and ends with you, not the economy, not your husband, not your parents, not your kids, not your this, you. So it's something you've got to get right within yourself. And if you can do that, and you can change the neural pathways and your subconscious mind to be operating with those core beliefs, you're Gucci.
Yeah. I love that, especially as like people who have anxiety or people pleasers. Like, we have to work hard at this. I saw a meme yesterday that made me laugh so hard because it was so true. And it was like, your words will never hurt me, because I already thought of like 75 scenarios before and already hurt my
Yeah.
feelings, how it could go. And that's so true, right? Because like Tara said, these are actual neural pathways in our brain. Like, please go read some books by what's his face? I suck at names.
Joe Dispenza.
Dispenza, he breaks down like the actual neuroscience of manifestation and of thoughts and feelings and patterns and these kinds of things. Like, it's actual scientific fact. Okay. So we have neural pathways in our brain. And most of the time, we create these neural pathways when we're young, when we think that, people don't like us, or we're bullied, or maybe we have, broken homes and just bad things, right? We create these neural pathways of everything's happening for or against us. Nothing's happening good for us. Like, it's always so hard. Why is it always me? Nothing's working out for me. Like, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Like, we've created these neural pathways to believe these things as truth. And so what we have to do, and what Tara's talking about, is like, when that neural pathway gets fired and you want to think that negative thing, you have to actually like stop your brain and then like create a new route. And there's literal like MRI scans and scientific fact proving that like you can create new neural pathways into your brain that create better positive thoughts. And so that's why we're saying like in the beginning, it's really difficult because it's like you have to actively be thinking about these things all of the time. But eventually, once you do this, it just becomes second nature. And then every now and then it'll pop up where it's like, oh, why this? But it's not every day the reoccurring thought. Like every day, my reoccurring thought is that things are happening for me. Everything's always working out. Money's always flying to me. Like I'm happy. Things are, I have clients coming into my inbox every day, like these positive things. But it took me a long time to get here.
Yeah.
So a lot of intentional work to create my brain to think this way.
A lot of work. I had a lot of work to do too, because growing up with, you're the first two people in your life that are supposed to create a safe space and make you feel loved and that you can do anything, you can have any, I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all. That was like kind of taken away from me. So that set the standard for me right away that like people don't love me, I'm hard to love, like blah blah blah, this and that, like just other things. And then I would like act out because like I just felt like, well, fucking nobody likes me anyway. So just like little things like that. And none of that was true. That was just me being a child and adapting those thoughts as belief, and then my life mirroring those thoughts, right? And so once I realized that that was all on me, I created that, like, yes, I didn't create the fact that my parents did what they did, but because of their actions, I created those neural pathways in my brain that it was now my job to like disassemble them and create new ones. And so once I realized that that was a thing, I was like, oh, F that. Like I'm going to do the work, and I've come a very long way. And I still have a long way to go, right? But I've come a very, very, very long way. And as adults, we have to be responsible for that. And so, I'm going to tell you as just like as if you're a child and your parents would tell you that you could have whatever it is that you want. That is a true fact. That's not just something that people would say to kids just to make them feel good. That's a true fact that you can do, be, and have whatever it is that you want. You're not too young and you're not too old. So if you want it, you got to put in the work to go and get it, just like absolutely anything else. You've got to work for the things that you want. And if that means so much to you, you will make it happen. And if you spend more time than not in 2025, Christmas Eve of 2025, you're going to remember this conversation and you're going to be like, wow, I've come a really long way. So what I want to leave you guys with, and we'll do a little bit more next week, which will be New Year's Eve. But what I want you guys to do today after this call hangs up is I want you guys to make 2 pieces of paper, right? And I want you to write down like how much is in your bank account right now, like what you accomplished like this year, like all of those types of things. And then I want you on another piece of paper to say, and write the date. So December 24th, 2024. And then I want you to write December 24th, 2025. I want you to put how much money will be in your bank account, where you will be, what your Christmas will look like, what your month of December will look like, all of that. And then I want you to write down where you're at right now, like what your month looked like, how much is in your bank account, what you have, but you wish you did have, like, or with your business or your life or whatever. And then I want you to fold them up, and I want you to put them underneath your mattress. And then on Christmas Eve, 2025, I want you to go pull out both of them and see how far you came and what like was in your bank account, what your thoughts were, and now where you're at and what you did. I didn't do that last year, but I did do it the year before and the year before that. And it's the most coolest thing ever to be like, wow, I really did this. This is insane.
And I want you guys to go big with it, because here's the thing. We tend to play small. So if you currently aren't making any money in your business and you're watching this and you're like, man, even if I just make $10,000 per month by the end of the year, that would be incredible. But I want you to go so much bigger than that, because there's so much time in a year, you guys. I leaped in my life and my businesses this year. Like I could have never have thought that last year at this time, never would have imagined that. And, even we have so many testimonies in our business with people who work with me and Tara, where they got so much further in like 6 months of working with us than they ever thought they were going to do in a year or 2 years. So I want you guys to go. I want it to be uncomfortable. Like I want you to write it down. I want it to be uncomfy, like stretch goals, not just like, it would be nice if, no. Like if you're going to do this exercise, guys, you need to dream big and write down goals that make you uncomfortable, but excited AF. Like it needs to be big. So I think with that, you guys, this is going to end today's Tuesday tips from the top. But, you know, if you want to work with Tara and I a little bit closer, we are releasing a Telegram broadcast called On the Daily. And this is going to be with Tara and I starting January 1st, which is going to be next Wednesday. Holy crap, it's going to come so fast. And every single day, Tara and I are going to be going live, kind of quote unquote live, with a mini training inside of that Telegram chat where you guys are going to get, you know, mindset tips, strategies, ways to create leads, ways to close sales, ways to interact, you know, and build your business, like just so many everyday mini trainings. And honestly, you know, I was talking to someone about this the other day. This is like the closest way to get to us. Like we've never actually created a container where you can be so close to us. Like I'm not even in my team chats every day doing mini trainings with them every single day. So this is a very like high level way to touch with Tara and I to start your.
And both of us, you're going to get both of us. You're going to get Jess's thoughts and ideas and her energy, and then my thoughts and ideas and my energy every single day, because there's days, like we just said, like we can't be with you every single day, right? However, in the mini trainings, you know, in the Telegram, every single day, you're going to get, you know, a 10, 20, 30-minute voice memo in there of us just riffing on a specific topic where you're going to be able to take that, implement it, and go make money. Or it could be on a day where, you know, you're feeling like nothing's going your way, you're ready to burn your business to the ground. And then the mini training comes in and it's literally exactly what you needed to hear. And now you're refired up and you can go do what you need to do. Like all of those things are massive because again, those are the things that create the energy to continue to keep on doing the things that you need to do. I wouldn't be here today. Jess wouldn't be here today if we didn't go and get, you know, into the minds of other, you know, experienced, wealthy individuals, mentors and stuff that gave us those tips and tricks and things that I could have never have thought of on my own at that point in time, right? So in order for you to expand and for you to continue to go, like knowledge is power. The more you know, the better you're going to do, the more you're going to be able to implement. And then with your own clients and your own business, as these things arise with them, you're going to be able to share this information with them as well, right? It's the gift that keeps on giving. So in order to, you know, we make the money that we make based off of the value that you are, right? We become valuable in our minds, right? People say like, oh, I wish like, can I pick your brain, right? I hate that thing, but like, can I pick your brain? Because they want to know what's going on in here or how we handle things or how we think of things, or if this were to happen, how you would deal with it. Well, you're going to get that for 31 days.
Yeah. I mean, it's the highest level of touch that you can get from us with anything that we have releasing that's live with us every single day. And
jumping on calls or missing calls or any of that's going to come straight to your phone.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this because this is going to be a lot of fun. And this is the way to like start your 2025 off right. Like every single day, you're going to be active with us and you're going to learn how like 7-figure earners actually move in business and why we are where we are. And we're going to show up every day, just like we do to our businesses, with the discipline, with the dedication, with the commitment. We're going to show you guys really what that looks like in real time. And
things we're dealing with, right? Or how, like, if something comes up that we're dealing with, like how we dealt with it and with how the outcome was, like things like that, you're going to love it. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Because at first we were going to do it for like a whole year. Then we're going to do it for 6 months. And I was like, you know what? Let's test it out for a month and like see, you know, because we know for an entire month, we're going to bring the sauce. Like we're going to bring the heat. It's going to be fire. But I was like, let's try it out for like an entire month and like see how we feel. And if we're like, yeah, let's go, like we'll continue to keep on going. So yeah, we're really excited about this.
Yeah, because by the way, like me and Tara are ready to go hard for January. Like we're gonna be working non-stop in January. So if you want to be like close to the energy and close to the fire, this is going to be the way to do it, because we're going to have to pull back on some other areas to go hard with this, with Telegram specifically for you guys, and then going hard on our businesses, like our personal businesses. You're going to be able to be close to us as we go through this like massive rocket ship in January. So I'm excited.
January is literally my favorite month of the entire year, obviously, besides like, you know, but working wise, because why? Number one, it's a long month, right? Everybody's like, January took forever. It's a long month. It's cold where I live. There's nothing to do. There's no holidays. And so I just get in the lab and I go ham sandwich from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I like put in extra hours, and that sets the entire tone for me for the entire year, which is why I felt a little bit off last year because I really didn't start getting back to work until like the end of March. So I didn't work January, I didn't work February, pretty much all of March. And that's why I had to go to my manifestation mode, when I opened up the other spot and all of that. But if when I'm in January and I'm in hustle mode and I'm putting in that energy, it's like everything just starts kicking off and taking off, and it's just like the best ever. And I'm excited to do that this January because I wasn't able to do it. I'm actually sad when January ends. I'm like, no, because then it's February and then it's a short month and it's already March and it's already summer, and it's like the time flies. So I love January. So yes, come join us in January to put in the work, to do what you say you're going to do, right? Say what you mean and mean what you say. And let's have the year that we all desire to have. Not just say it, but actually get it.
Amen. So please, you guys, like and subscribe this video. If you're listening over on Spotify, leave us a 5-star review and share this with your friends. Because like I said, we have a couple of the holidays that we're getting through, but we're going to be here with you guys. And then starting next week, like we have some crazy topics that we're going to go over, some crazy free trainings and a lot of ways to work with us. And I'm very excited.
We'll drop the link to the Telegram on the daily in the caption of this video as well. If you want to join us, you can click the link, and we'll be sending out all the deets and everything, and we'll be ready to go January 1st. So I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, a safe Christmas, and we will see you guys next week.
Merry Christmas.